Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily Weekly AFL Show, we are talking out every single game in this exceptionally fun round of AFL footy, because that's right, footy's back. I'm looking at a couple of absolute bag kickers, I think, in Geelong, Richmond, Carlton versus the Dogs, and even the Bombers and the Lions. That's going to be awesome. What about you, Stats Guy?
I'm going to boo Jason or Francis through my TV, and Brody Mychuk, I think, is going to continue his good form.
Nice one, Alex.
I can't believe the price about Jordan Dawson to kick a couple of goals and get around Tommy Papley. It's game 150!
Jeez. Anyway, we've got player props, game picks, best bets for every single game this round. That's right. It's the AFL Show. It's Code Bet Daily. It's real good footy. All right, welcome to the Code Bet Daily AFL Weekly Show. There you go. It is round 9 of the AFL. You might call it a magical round if you wanted to. A lot going on, I'll tell you that much. I'm your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website. It's called Code Bet. You might find that at codebet.com.au, because that's where all our writing is. That's where all this is. That's what we're all doing here. I'm joined, as always, by the Pontiffs of Punting. That's right. We've got Alex Donnelly over there.
Having a great time. Old mate with the leaf blower starts up right as we want to record. It's a fantastic day once again out here in the... I'm not even going to say where I am. Don't find me.
Righto. We've got the Stats Guy as well. He's at his nan's place. He's Nana's little favourite McAllion.
Yeah, I am. I too. Yeah, go from here today. Still a worried North supporter this week, but very happy Celtic supporter so far.
I want Grandma's best bet at the end of the show. That's all I want. I heard she's a punting fiend, and we need that.
Yeah, she loves a punt.
Race 4, off you go. She's already down the TAB. She's like, Liam, you've got a key. Let yourself out.
Half of that's right. She's not here, so we'll see if she pops in later.
What's she backing in the Scone Cup today? That's all I care about.
This is Code Footy's back daily. Love it. We are talking all AFL today. We've got player props, game picks, and best bets for every single game of this round, which has got a couple of weird double headers, because we're just like, let's just load up and just clump a bunch of footy together all at once.
That's what everyone wants, apparently.
The AFL.
Yeah, because we don't want to sit down and watch all the games. We just want them all going at the same time, so you have to have 17 different screens going. And actually, the one bugbear I have is when you're watching the footy, when Foxtel and KO put the score of the other game on the screen. What if I don't want to be spoiled?
Yeah, what if you and the other tiny minuscule percentage of people don't want to be spoiled?
I like that little feature.
No, it's like you can check your phone if you want to see the score. Don't put it in the bottom of the screen.
No, but I want to know if it's really close and I can change the channel. What are you talking about?
Well, you just get your phone out like this and go, AFL app, boom.
How about I just don't get my phone out and it's just there in front of me? It's a lot easier. Jeez. Anyway.
Let's probably do a
podcast. We have a recap of last week's results. The other two went 9 of 9.
Yes.
Hell yes. Get around it. I'm going to take more holidays. Fuck it, perfect rounds.
That was awesome. 9 of 9.
I went 8 for, which was a tough one. I believe who did I believe in?
Essendon.
Yeah. Somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was close. They only lost by 5 points.
Yeah, they still lost.
Right. That leaves us at, I think, Stats Guy's leading the pack at 51.
Yes.
Alex is 46. I'm just behind there at 44 for the season. Let's get into it. First game Friday. This is one of mine. You can go read the giant big breakdown on codebet.com.au. Richmond, Geelong. It is a feline fine game. That's right. The battle of the felines. I told the squid this morning. He's like, wait, what? Tigers versus cats. And lost his mind. It was hilarious. The Tigers are $3.15. Geelong's $1.38. The line is actually shifted pretty dramatically over the last 3 or 4 days from about 20 odd. And I believe, if Stats Guy has updated that correctly, that it's now 18.5.
I will double check that, but
pretty crazy.
Stats Guy.
I think that's correct.
Are they buying too much into Dangerfield not playing? Because, no, Danger. It's like, they won 6 of 7 without him last year.
They've got no Guthrie, Danger, Close, and De Koning, who were all in their premiership side last year. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is actually 16.5 as well if you look at it.
It's dropped even more. There you go.
So it's gone from about 2021 that I was looking at earlier in the week.
Yeah.
That's like a 4 or 5 point change. It's pretty dramatic.
Yep.
Which blows my mind, because I look at this Richmond team and go, well, that's trash.
They've been horrible, yeah.
That's not good at all. What are they doing? The over-under, 169.5. Geelong could do that by themselves. So, spoiler alert, I'm going to take the over in this one. But breaking down this one, it's obviously like Taranto and despite Richmond struggling, Taranto and Hopper Baker, they're their main ball winners. They're doing really well at the moment, obviously. Taranto, the 30-plus for him is a very, very obvious one because you're like, well, he's just the one dude week in, week out who's doing it. I think he's ripped off 4 straight with 30-plus. And in terms of a price for that 30-plus, I believe I had it written down in the actual what was it? The preview that I wrote.
Yes.
That's it.
That thing that you do.
Yeah, that other thing.
The big thing where I wrote all the words. There you go. Taranto was it $1.85 with 30-plus with Ladbrokes, and Hopper was 25-plus. But my favorite one, I think, for the Tigers was Dusty for 25-plus. He's doesn't go too badly. I mean, he went 27-plus disposals last week against the very good Eagles, but at the same time, it was that sort of big game that you wanted him to have. It wasn't quite as big as you thought it could have been against the Eagles, but it was like just one of those indicators where you're like, oh, he's finding the ball. Yes. This is good. And he also kicked a goal, which was like one of the big things too. I do love a Dusty 2+ goals, 25+ disposals multi in this game. He's kicked at least 1 goal in 12 of his last 13 at the G has Dusty. I think just the sheer lack of options in the forward line for this Richmond team is where I'm just going to stop dead and just go, I can't see them kicking a winning score against Geelong, right?
Yeah. True.
We've got Rewalt, who loves kicking a couple when they're underdogs, because when they're underdogs, it's usually because Tom Lynch is out, and it's like, well, I'm the only guy up here. So
That's very
true. It's a 2+ Rewalt one as well that I like, but I think the Dusty thing, that's the only chance they've got. So I'm going to jump on the Dusty train. For Geelong, Mitch Duncan. Love that.
Yeah, this is great.
25+ disposals. And what happens when he plays, Alex?
Geelong win.
Yeah.
That's right. How many was it? It was 18?
19 in a row with Mitch Duncan in the team.
That's crazy.
Unreal. He's also gone for 25+ touches in the last 4 games against the Tigers at the G2. So when he plays against them at the G, he gets the ball a bit. You could get him at $3.
That surprised me so much. I
love that. And I think with that, as you mentioned, Dangerfield out, Guthrie out. I think any of the pill. So give me all of your Mitch Duncan tomorrow. No, tonight. Jeez.
Tonight, yeah.
I'm not used to doing this on a Friday.
Getting behind yourself there.
And Jezza, look, I think this forward line as well, in terms of back lines, actually two of the teams that I'm covering this week have weirdly small injury-riddled back lines, and Richmond's one of them where you're just I can't see that Richmond back line.
Noah Bolter is in for a long night.
Yes.
It's just, how do they stop both Jezza and Hawkins? And the answer is they
There's
can't.
probably no team that can stop both of them anyway.
Right. Grimes, sure. Bolter, sure. But outside of that, it's a small...
Oh, Bolter's been out of form.
Yeah,
it sucks, right? He's been on the...
But he's been off.
So I like Jezza 4+, Hawkins 3+. Off you go. Geelong smashing them with the over 170.5 points. I think they kill them. I did initially think, early in the week when I was doing the tip on this, I think the lean was when that line was about 21. I was like, Richmond plus 21 or so. I like that. They maybe keep it close. And then you sort of dig into it. There's no way they keep this close. This is smashing. I'm tempted to go the Geelong 40+. But it's just one of those games where Richmond can sort of clog down the game a bit here and there. Geelong will kick away in the end, but they'll cover that line, the 17, 16.5, whatever you want to take.
Yep.
That's where I've landed. The tip is Geelong. Simple as that. Yep. I don't know if you've got any thoughts, but that's where I've got it.
Well, my thing is, why isn't Noah Cumberland playing? He's one of the only Richmond players that kicks goals, and Dimmer Hardwick seems to hate him at the moment. He kicked 3 on Anzac Day Eve, and then we haven't seen him. It's like, you kicked 3 and you're the only goal-scoring person you have apart from Jack.
It's one of those droppings where they drop him because, I don't know, maybe he's not doing the team thing with defense or things like that. But if he's going to kick goals for a Richmond team that has so many outs, just keep him in. I don't get that at all.
Yeah.
There was also, I think, in terms of if you want to look at anybody else on that Richmond squad, you kind of look at it and go, Baker keeps getting the ball. That's cool. Short keeps getting the ball. But really, this should be a good game for a bit. But I think that's what, as I sort of talked it out, right? Even with the outs for Geelong, they sort of still stomp them. Yeah. So no Brad Close, no danger. Off we go. Go the Cats, I think, doing this one.
Nice.
Good tips.
Geelong. Yeah, you got to go Geelong.
Sweet. All right. Who's got West Coast, Gold Coast? I think it's the Battle of the Coast. I think that's the stat play.
Battle of the Coasters. Yeah, I've got this game. The other Friday night game that I don't know why they've scheduled it around the same time. That's okay.
Because apparently people don't want to go to the football on Mother's Day.
Or watch Thursday night footy, apparently. But that's a very weird one.
Let's not even get into that.
Or talk into a microphone if they're named Alex Donnelly. But anyway,
so West Coast to $3.75.
Halfway across the room. It's like just going around. But anyway.
So yeah, West Coast are their lowest probably odds in a while. Surprised that they were $3.75. You got Gold Coast $1.32. The line is 20.5, which I thought was really low considering West Coast have 17 injuries still. And then the over-under is 170.5. Gold Coast have actually been pretty solid. They've beaten the Tigers, who we said aren't too much up, but people didn't expect them to beat them in Melbourne. They also beat the Cats just a month and a half ago. And they only lost to Melbourne last game by 5 points. They were leading a lot of that game. They looked really solid. So people have been surprised. Even with skipper Tuke Miller out, their All-Australian captain, they've just risen. You got Matt Rowell and Noah Anderson taking their games to new heights, averaging over 25 touches. Yeah, really impressed. And yeah, West Coast I feel really bad for them. They've actually got a few decent guys.
I don't.
You don't? What a surprise.
No.
But yeah, they've got 17 injuries, so it's going to be tough. But one shining light has been Oscar Allen. We've talked him up on this podcast a few times, but there's only...
who's talked him up? I've been on the...
Yeah, you have.
Like basically round 2.
He's been amazing, He's
love me some Oscar
There's
Allen.
only 2 players in the league still now that have kicked 2 goals in every game. You got Coleman medal leading Jezza Cameron, who we just talked about, and Oscar Allen in a team that's got so many injuries and struggling. It's an amazing effort. He's got 22 goals in his 8 games and has 12 more goals than the next highest Eagles player. So if anyone's going to kick goals, it's going to be him. So 3+ goals for Oscar Allen. I think he can get $2.15 is really good value. Then I'm going to have a look at the Suns' best player at the moment, definitely Noah Anderson. I think he's an underrated player in the competition. He could rack up a few Brownlow votes this year. He's turning into like a Bont-style player where he gets the clearances, even can mark really high in the air. And then he can get a goal. So he's averaging 28 disposals and just under a goal a game. He's going to easily clear that, I think, both of those averages, just because West Coast have a lot of really poor midfield. So I've got Anderson 30+ disposals and an anytime goal is $2.63. He's gotten 32 and a goal and 37 and a goal the last 2 weeks since Tuke Miller's been out. So his role has become even bigger. He just doesn't go off out of the midfield. So that 30+ and a goal, $2.63 on Bet AFL. And then I just got to go Gold Coast to win this one. Eagles have lost their last 6 straight games by 40+ points. And Gold Coast have won 3 of the last 4 meetings. So just Gold Coast at the line is minus 20.5. But then if you want to just bump it up a little bit more, you can get 25+ for them on Ladbrokes, and it's $1.94.
Those 25+ ones actually really can be like awesome value sometimes with a game like this. Where
I don't know about 40+, but yeah.
40+, they might end up just like take the foot off the pedal a little bit and just sort of cruise to the end.
They could easily, though. They've got the quality. If they play like they did against Melbourne last week, it'll be a 40+. But just the value there at 25+, I was very surprised about. I thought the line would be a bit high. So I'm going to go Gold Coast in this one.
I'm going Gold Coast as well.
Gold Coast.
Easy. I think this is that's a crazy line for me. I
think they could easily clear that line.
We have Sydney Fremantle kicking off Saturday, and I believe Alex is kicking off with this one.
Nice.
Yeah, 145 at the SCG. Fremantle have not won in Sydney since 2011, and they've lost their last 6 games in New South Wales. That obviously includes playing GWS and such.
That feels bad.
2011, that's a long time.
It's a long time, yeah.
It's worse than North's MCG record.
Yeah, that's bad. Just a note with the Swans as of last night that Peter Laddams and Tom McCartan have been ruled out. McCartan with concussion symptoms and didn't cop a head knock, which seems concerning. And Peter Laddams got elbowed in the neck in the first ruck contest. So that hardly seems ideal, but that means, so just looking into this game, it's a big match for Aaron Francis. He's been named at fullback. So he's probably going to get the Luke Jackson matchup, which I'll get onto later. And Nat 5 should be the sub again as they manage his minutes, which seems really weird.
Yeah, they put him as a sub,
Yeah, so the Swans are $1.33, Freo 360. The line's 20 to 20.5, 21.5, and the over-under is 166.5. And I honestly don't think the Swans are going too badly. Like, obviously paying much more close attention to them than I do other teams, given they are my team. Not icing a game, obviously the Port Adelaide and GWS games are worry, but against Collingwood last week, at 3/4 time, like, we're genuinely in this, but we've thrown away our chance to win the game. I thought Collingwood were going to finish over the top. All those kicks in the third quarter, all the possession, and we only kicked, 2 points? It was just really annoying, and the final kick did let them down. You came out against a Fremantle defence that's way worse than Collingwood last week, and I'm not giving any credit to their win last week whatsoever. As we saw when Carlton went over to Perth and smashed West Coast, it means nothing. It honestly means nothing. Same with Hawthorn. Like, they left 3 players at home that are really good. Managed tanking. I like it. So with that, I like the Swans over 93.5 points at the $1.85. In 2 games this year at the SCG, they've got over 100 points, and they've scored 90 or more in 6 of their last 8 at home. And I'm going to give him one last chance, the Heen Machine.
Oh,
this is one last chance to show me something.
He's cool.
But he took some grabs last week. He missed a couple of sitters, but he did take some grabs, and he had 16 possessions. His last 3 games against Freo, he's had 7 goals and 64 disposals. So he does enjoy playing against Freo. So 2+ goals, $2.35, 15+ disposals, $1.62. Errol Goulden had his best game ever last week, 37 touches, 32 kicks, which is, I love that. Screw this handball stuff. Just kick it, get it, and kick it long. Errol does that. In his 2 games against Freo, he's got 3 goals, so $1.85 for any time goal is nice. Him just sneaking forward, having one from, 45, 50 out. And $4.80 to have 30 or more disposals. I really like that.
That's awesome. He got 30 last week.
That's very juicy.
Yeah.
Looking at the Freo side of things, Andy Brayshaw, he was one of the best players last week. Yeah, it was against Hawthorn, but he still had 34 touches and 8 tackles, 2 goals. Luke Jackson kicked 2 goals as well, and that's what I'm looking at. Luke Jackson to kick 3 goals. He's a big, tall dude. What do the Swans not have?
Tall dude.
Big, tall defenders.
Aaron Francis is definitely not a fullback. He's a halfback, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to play fullback without McAllion. So tell you what you do. You put Luke Jackson in the goal square and you kick it high and long to him. He kicks 3 goals. That's $8.50 with our mates at Ladbrokes. And back to Andy Brayshaw, 30 plus is $2.15 with Bet 365. I thought that was ridiculous, to be honest. And just a little sneaky one. Swans the lead at quarter time. Freo have lost 11 of their last 12 first quarters.
Nice.
The one team they beat, Hawthorn. $1.55 for the Swans to lead at quarter time.
That's pretty good.
And I'm going to take the Swans and the over 166.5 at $2.40. The Swans mids are still very good. The forwards are still very good. It's just the kicking. I think they've kicked 90. I think I put in the article earlier this week. It's like 99 goals, 90 or something. The kicking's been off.
Yeah.
If they kick straight, they'll put a big score on because they're getting plenty of looks at it. It's just little inaccuracies. Maybe hire Tony Lockett to teach the boys how to kick a goal. But the Swans are over 166.5, $2.40.
Ooh,
nice. Well, I'm taking Sydney in this. I probably this is just like one of those games where you look at it and go, yeah, Freo traveling to Sydney, where they just can't win. In the form that they're in, no chance. And because I don't like what Sydney are doing. I don't like Sydney at all this year, but this game they win. So
I think looking ahead to the Swans with their injury list and everyone's sort of going to come back in the next month. You get to 5-5 after 10 rounds because we play North next week. It's not too bad. The Swans were 6-4 after 10 rounds last year with an easier draw.
True.
Sure. Right. So everyone's taking Sydney?
Yeah, I'm going to go Sydney. Even though I don't trust them other than this week.
Stats guy, your beloved Kangaroos.
Yeah, we got the Jason Horn-Francis reunion or the bowl or whatever you want to call it. We got North Melbourne $5.
Ice bath.
The man who's showing on Ice Bath is back playing against his old team. $5.25 for North Melbourne, $1.18 for Port Adelaide. The line is 31.5 and the over-under is 167.5. As we just talked about, Jason Horn-Francis left saltily North Melbourne last year. I think we'll be into him early. The fans will be into him early, but that'll fizzle out probably after halftime when we absolutely
I don't know, Stats guy. I think booing's now illegal. So
no, I think the only team that you're allowed to do it to teams that players are what used to be for your club and things like that.
You get banned for life if you boo. Simple as that.
Tom Stewart is going to get booed out of the building tonight because he put Dion Presti's forehead into the 15th row.
Yeah, I think those ones are sort of part of the game. The random ones with Buddy and stuff are just stupid.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Booing's part of it. You hate the dude because he completely just left you.
He left us to dry.
The culture's
back apparently in North, so I'm happy with that.
Fine.
But the booing and everything will drop off.
We always booed champions.
No, you don't.
You didn't.
They booed Tom Papley after he elbowed Nick Dacos. Fair enough.
But yeah, I think that'll fizzle out literally after halftime.
It's also in Tassie. Who the hell's done the scheduling here? They need to be pulled in and be like, hey, why isn't this in Marvel?
I was thinking that North fans will literally go to this just for see Jason Horn-Francis and get into it. But we used to call it a fortress back when we were winning finals at Tassie, but now the last few seasons we were 1-8.
You won finals in Tassie?
No, when we were playing finals, the years we were playing finals, we were pretty good down there. But in the last few seasons we're 1-8 at our second home ground, which is absolutely horrible. We've only won one game in the last few years down there. And the Power have beaten us North in 8 of the last 9 meetings. They're They love playing North, so that's not looking good for us. I'm going to have a look at a bit of value. A lot of our guys have been really consistent, but I was impressed by debutant Blake Drury last week. Only had the 13 touches, but as the game progressed, Cunnington went off a little bit later. He went into the midfield a little bit. That's where he got a few more touches. And even for his height, I think he was one of the smallest guys on the ground, but he took 4 marks and a few of them contested. So I just don't mind him to get 15 plus this week. We dropped Ben Cunnington due to he just looked really unfit. I feel a bit sad for him.
No, he's old.
He's old.
Like,
he had cancer and things like that. So there's a lot of reasons why, he's not looking good. But we've dropped him, and I think Drury will get a few more midfield minutes, so that he'll get that from that 13 plus. The 13 disposals he had last week. I think he can get up to 15 plus. Average 23 in the VFL. So I think 15 plus for Drury at $2.15 is a pretty good bet with Bet Art. And then I'm going to have a look at Jeremy Finlayson. He's been in superb form since he's come back from injury. He's got 11 goals in his last 5 games. And in the last 3 meetings with the Roos, he's got 2 or more goals. So also Ben Mackay for North, since coming back from injury, looked horrible. Griffin Lowe just, our backlines looked really poor and just can't stop any of those medium to tall size forwards. So Finlayson 3 plus goals at $2.60 on Ladbrokes, I think is also a good bet. Bit of a random one I was talking about yesterday. Travis Boak, first goal. So everyone knows Travis Boak's been an elite midfielder. But he's kicked the first goal in the last, I think it's about 8 months, 3 times. And it's the most of any player in this game. So, which is surprising for a midfielder. He can kick it from like 55 on the run coming out of the midfield. Just $29 I thought was really good value for first goal for someone that's kicked it 3 times. It's a very random bet, but I just can picture it. I've seen him kick a few first goals already this year, so why not jump on the $29 for first goal? He can burst out of the midfield, especially at Blundstone, usually wind at one end. I wouldn't be surprised if they get the wind. He's going to kick a good goal.
Is it possible for this game to be worse than North Melbourne's game last week?
Saints, Ross Lyon wants the game to make look bad. So if you're going to, it will be 100 times better than last week because Ross is not involved. But yeah.
It's weird though because Port are pretty similar, right? In there,
it's also if it's really windy at Blundstone, it's just like 13 degrees and overcast, and it's just like Hobart. Yeah.
Historically at Tassie, it's pretty high scoring, because there's always one team going with the wind. They just put on. That's also because you played Geelong there last week, and they put 200 on you. Yeah, but even when North attack with the wind, we look slightly better because we can kick it a little bit further and things like that. But Port are going to win this one. North have lost their last 6 and by an average of 46 points. Port have been amazing. Won their last 5. Look rejuvenated through Butters and Rosie. All these young guys coming through. They look like a final side at the moment. So Port minus 31.5. I've got to take the line. It could even be a 40 plus, but I'm just going to take the 31.5 at $1.90 for Port.
Nice one. Yeah, the Finlayson is a big one for me. I think he has an absolute
He's been great, day. He's kicked a couple of bags of 5 this year, so get behind him.
Yeah, I don't mind Port 40 plus in this one because I just think they run over the top of you. Like there's a quality to them where you just go, these guys
look good.
Cool.
Yeah. Port minus 41.5 at $2.50.
Okay, there you go. There's a bit more value. Yeah.
So all Port? Yeah. Nice one. All right, Hawks D's.
Yeah, that's me. Hawthorn hosting this one, $7.75. The D's $1.10. The line is 43.5, and the over/under is 171.5. If the D's had an actual legitimate forward line, I'd say they could do that themselves, but their midfielders could probably help them get there. The D's at the line's a starting point for me here. Flat win last week against, a somewhat decent team in Gold Coast. They've got the scalp of Geelong after all. And as we've said, you get up to the Gold Coast with the red seats and just weird stuff happens. It's just like, it's mid-afternoon, the seats are red, I have no idea what's happening, it's fine. And then you look at Hawthorn who are just, Harley Reid, come at them. Hawks have failed to cover the line in their last 4 at the MCG, so that's what I was sort of leaning to. And then you delve a bit deeper. The D's 6 wins this year. Their average winning margin is 46 points.
Wow.
Hawthorn's average loss this season is 46.4 points. Oh, that covers the line.
There you go. That's where the line's coming.
How's that for some synergy? And then you go into it. The Hawthorn forward line. It's like, what is it? Who is it? Where are they going to kick goals? It's just a concern. They're ranked 18th in the competition. Their average score this year is 61 points. With that, I'm looking at them under 65.5 points for the game at $1.85. The only thing that sort of has me not launching into the over and a huge win for the D's, it's their 4th game in 19 days, obviously with the Anzac Day and everything and some travel thrown in. It's like, it's a bit tight, but you just sort of can see some young Hawks just early up and about going, we're going to run. It's the MCG. And then they get to the second quarter.
Yeah.
But Connor Nash last week had 26. Him to get 25 plus is $1.85. He looked really good.
He's been good this year.
And then we looked at the positives for the Demons. Clary Oliver, he's like, I'm going to try and win a Brownlow, but also Bont and Nick Dacos are going really well. But anyway, he had 33 against last year against Hawthorn, where they only won by 10 points. But he's averaging 33 and a bit this season. 35 plus is $2.10. He did have 37 2 weeks ago at the MCG against Stats Guys' beloved North Melbourne. Yeah. And Maxi Gawn, a bit of value, 20 plus at $2.88. He had 29 disposals and 2 goals against Hawthorn last year. And this is a way worse Hawthorn than they were last year. And then for goal kickers, we've talked about it the other day. Alex Neil-Bullen loves a snag. He's kicked the first goal in his last 2 games in the MCG and at least 1 in his past 9. $1.46 for your multiplayers to throw in for you any time. And he's $18 to kick the first goal.
Nice. That's good for a small forward, $18.
Nice one. I'll be jumping on the Bailey Fritz train for me.
First time in 35 games he didn't kick a goal last week.
He's going to make up for it.
He looks so off in that game as well.
Yeah, it's just one of those games you're just like, that's unfortunate. Like usually somehow sneaks one in those 6-touch games and he still couldn't do it.
It was like the 2 set shots he had late. You just like, what is going on?
He'd been to Cocktails and Dreams the night before on Cavill Avenue. It's fine.
Checks out. The tip here is obviously Melbourne, and I love Melbourne 40 plus.
Yeah,
agreed.
I think I said 57.5 in the preview, minus 57.5.
Nice one. All right. I've got back-to-backs here. So we're going Brisbane, $1.20, Essendon, $5.25. It seems chaos, and then you dig into it a little bit more and you go, oh, that makes sense. 30.5 point line. The over-under is 184.5. That over-under is just boosted. It's gone up by like almost 2.5 goals. This is a question of how much do the Lions kill them by, I think. No Darcy Parish, no Jordan Ridley, no Jake Kelly.
Oh, I didn't realise that. Wow.
One of the best forward lines in the comp right now who are all in form against a small, decimated back line with a midfield that's not going to be feeding the opposition the ball because you've got your fit and firing midfield as well. This all screams to me absolute smashing. I started off thinking, hang on a sec, we argued about this yesterday, I think, Alex, didn't we? I was all on board with like Essendon covering that line. I think, look, their offense is good enough to keep. No.
I was just like, no.
Those 3 players that are out, they're 3 of their best players. So.
So without that midfield grunt and with that back line just looking when you've got Hipwood, Gunston and Danaher and you just go, who on this Essendon team covers them? Like, and then you've got Chucky Cameron just like kicking 4 goals every game. Like, what is that?
Flat, fast deck and they get a run on, they just kick goals.
They love the Gabba.
Where is this? It's at the Gabba. Yeah. What do they do at the Gabba? They win.
They smash everyone there.
So, I've done the full 180. Look, Essendon kicking 14 goals a game.
Yeah, they're like 4th or 5th in the AFL, so they're going well.
Yeah, for the team without people.
Look, they're averaging 95.8 points a game. Brisbane are 101.1. So, look, you think the over sort of is there, but I think that's more because like Brisbane put 130 up. Like we go and Essendon maybe scratch their way to 60 odd, but I think this is an absolute belting to the point where I think one of my favorite multis that you can sort of build is Danaher 3+ goals, Hipwood 3+ goals, and Chucky Cameron 3+ goals. Like I think just there's going to be so much delivery into that forward line. Essendon, look, they are scrappy. They have like that sort of next level of player down where they're not going to get, they're not abysmal. Obviously, like even if you take out that class of Parish Ridley,
they still got a decent team,
But at the same time, like just how good this team is, they can run over the top of any team.
Yeah.
And if you're missing some of that quality, it's pack her up, boys. Chucky Cameron's gone 4+ in 4 of his last 5 games. Danaher's hit a nice bit of form. Playing against his old team, you know what he's going to want to do? Kick a big back. And the thing is, and I love looking at this as well, right? When you go, all right, so we got Hipwood, and this is one of the ones that I talked about last week when they played Carlton. When you get to the point of like, all right, in your back line, do you have like that second or third tall you can actually throw on somebody like Hipwood, or is he just going to be leading into a pocket?
True.
Uncontested, boom, off he goes. What happened against Carlton last week. So I really like the Hipwood to get amongst the goals as well. Feeling good, feeling fine. Because you think about that Essendon backline, it's like, what is it? Zerk Thatcher.
Thatcher's good, but the other guys are all small defenders,
Exactly. They all sort of swing forward as well, and it's just, I think Hipwood's going to have a day out. I think they smash him. Ashcroft, 25+ in the midfield, bounce back game for him.
He's been awesome.
$2.30. He was held pretty well last week, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dunkley 25 plus, Neil 25 plus. So if you want to go 25 plus for each of those, I feel like there's two really good multis built in right there. The Goal King one, the midfield one, off you go. Because all those 25 pluses, like Ashcroft's pretty good value at $2.20, but obviously Dunkley, all he does is get 25 plus. He's done it a million times. Neil, same thing, right? 27 plus in his last 14 of 15 at home as a favourite.
Wow.
Neil is flying. Multi those up and away you go. For the Essendon, Zerrett, he's like the early dude. It's like he and Shield. Off you go. Andy McGrath, 20 plus as well if you feel like it. But Zerrett, 30 plus. It's $1.80. I feel pretty good about that. He's racking up the touches after he came back after missing Anzac Day.
Yeah, especially with Parrish out, yeah.
Exactly. No Parrish in there now. He's going to be their main dude. And I think there was a good stat about that. Zerrett, yes, he's gone against Brisbane, 31 plus last 4.
Okay.
Against the Lions. So, look, Draper, anytime goal, $1.57. Chuck that into multi as well. Stringer, 2 plus. I mean, somebody's going to do something for Essendon, don't they?
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah, sure.
Don't they?
Well,
maybe. Either way, I'm going the over in a heartbeat. I think Brisbane absolutely put one on Essendon here. Essendon's defense, look, it hasn't been great all year. Now, that midfield's also like lacking. This is going to be a smashing. Brisbane 40 plus. You could bump that even more if you wanted to. But yeah, Brisbane is the pick. I think Brisbane kill them. Gentlemen?
Yeah, I was the same.
Brisbane.
Yeah, I'm going to go Brisbane. I was the same as you. I was going to go Essendon at the line, but with those outs, you got to take Brisbane.
Nah. I was all over Brisbane at the line.
Especially the Gabba, yeah.
Yep. Now, the other one that makes me thankful that I'll be the gig on Saturday night watching this one, Carlton take on the Western Bulldogs, 194. The Blues are just a hint underdogs. The Bulldogs are $1.92, Carlton are $1.94. The line's 1.5. The Dogs are just favoured. The line is 165.5. This is not going to go over.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
It'll be close.
I just don't know. Look, I've talked about actually at length how I think one of the last games pre-COVID I saw with my old man was Carlton Dogs.
Yes.
Just snuck over the line and Charlie Curnow kicked 7. It was like 103-100. Carlton came flying back in the fourth quarter. It was like the only time they did that all season, I think. And ever since then, they've kind of split the difference. Carlton have won the last 2 of the 3, and they've basically just gone Carlton win, Dogs win, Carlton win, Dogs win, Carlton win. And there's no real rhyme or reason about it. Like, they're all pretty close. Like, they're all pretty, scrappy affairs. Like, one team's gotten to 100 points in each of them. But the way that I'm sort of reading this game is the defensive pressure for them Carlton midfield has just been horrible. All season. It's been one of my big bugbears, not just as a Carlton supporter, but as a football lover. Just go, can you just try to stop the other team? But with dudes like, I don't know, Chera and Akers, look, they're getting plenty of the pill, but they're just not stopping anybody. Same thing in Walsh, same with Patrick Cripps. Tackling numbers, just shocking. And they, look, Ed Curnow's been dropped, and he used to be a tackling machine. Now it's just, he's that little bit older. Pack right, boys. But against the Bonts, McRae's, and Libbers of the world, that's going to, like, the contested ball is going to be massive, obviously. But the thing that might save Carlton here is that Curnow loves Marvel and loves to get bag against the Dogs. He's gone for 5+ the last 2 times he's played the Bulldogs. It's a lot of goals. It's a lot. And he does love Marvel. We know that Mackay loves Marvel as well. But I do think this is a big Cripps and Curnow game. I think it's like they got absolutely lambasted all week after the inept showing against Brisbane. They've had that extra day rest. I think we get a big 30+ game from Cripps. Chera's gone for 30+ in 3 straight now as well. He's $2.70 to go 30+ in this. It's chaos. I'm all over that. And Cripps is $2 for 30+ as well. This is the tough part because you are playing the Bulldogs. They do have like that bigger bodied midfield. So it's a little bit tougher sometimes. And at Marvel, I feel like the disposal numbers, especially for Carlton, do dip a little bit when they play there. But I don't mind Cripps and Chera to both go 30. Curnow and Mackay, the big forwards, 5+ for Curnow's, $4.20. Tell me how that misses, gentlemen. Tell me how that misses.
It's just like a silence. We're just like,
I was like, sure. You go for that. You probably could get it, but just have to kick straight.
Mackay 3+ is $3 as well. I think, look, I wouldn't be surprised if they both kick 3. And Owies is back. Matt Owies, he's back in the team. Always snags a goal. He's $1.40. That's a good multi addition. One thing for me, what did I mention last week? Hipwood. Who's that sort of third big dude or just like the other sort of big-ish body the Dogs have? It's Jamari Ugle-Hagan.
Yep.
I've been saying this for weeks.
He's been pretty good.
We've seen him go off for 4+ in a game. He was absolutely dominant. I feel like this is another game he gets off the leash because they're the Bulldogs.
Hey.
Nice. $12 for 4+ goals. He's done it already this season.
Nice.
And when you look at that Carlton backline, you go Wiedering, McGovern, Lewis Young, question mark?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Newman?
Hello, Newman.
Like, it's like a raft of sort of smaller dudes, Sard, Doherty and co. I feel like either one of Ugle-Hagan or Lobb or Norton is going to go for 3+ easy. And I just like the sheer speed and like size of Ugle-Hagan is the one that really stands out to me. So 4+ for $12. I am all over
Awesome.
that. Bont 25+ is $1.42. He's going to do it, no problems. As I said, the defensive pressure from Carlton is really bad. Bailey Smith, same vibes, right? $1.57 for him too. A lot of ball movement. And McCray.
So he's the same McCray.
McRae, 25+. He's done so in a crazy 53 of his last 57 games.
53, that's nuts.
That's insane. 30+ for him is $1.85. But look, I think the way I've landed, looking at this, Carlton, it was like to be honest, I think this will be pretty similar to the game that I was last at in 2019 when I saw these two teams play. 103-100. I think Carlton can get a little bit of momentum. I think you saw last week, Kennedy came on as the sub, got every touch in like in the last quarter against Brisbane.
At 13, didn't he?
True.
It was incredible in like no time, and he's been really bad prior to that. But now that they have Sard back, now that they've got Doherty back, they've got that rebounding back line. I think Kennedy can get more in the midfield. Akers, Chera, Walsh, Cripps. I think they might just have enough to get... Look, with all that ball use, they should kick a score that can win this game. It's just so tough to trust them. I think it might be the game where they just eke one out. And you're like, all right, I'm also going to be happy that I'm in a gig and not watching it. And I think the under, it's tempting to take it. 165.5, $1.91 with Top Sport. But you have the history between these two teams where they just go, oh, hang on a second, off we go. And they have gone over that 165, I think. 3 of the last 4. So I was actually at the game that they won by 12 points last year as well with my uncle in like round 3 or something it was. And they sort of controlled that, but they only had one real good quarter and ended up winning the game. Because of that, that was the story of Carlton last year. They're a little bit better this year at like spreading out that goodness, but then they just sort of stink even worse. So I'm going to take Carlton plus 1.5. I don't feel good about it. You know, me, pessimistic Carlton fan, but I think this is a game where if it all goes right, you can see them winning it. And the Dogs have been scrappy at times. They're in better form, that's for sure. But Carlton with a fire lit under them from last week, I think they can step up and win this. So give me the Blues.
Yeah,
I'm going the Dogs. I can't trust Carlton at the moment. The Dogs have won 5 of their last 6. Dogs midfield, literally all of them can get 25 every game. And they also defend, like you said about Carlton. You got Libber and Bont who are averaging over 6 or 7 tackles each. So I just got to take Dogs at the moment. They're in much better form. And Carlton, since they beat Geelong, have only beaten GWS, North, and West Coast. So they're 3 of the bottom 5 teams. So I don't know.
But I think so. You also, one thing I forgot to mention was Treloar's out as well.
He's a big out. Yes.
This season, it's like one of those weird ones. They look really good when Treloar's up and about.
Yeah.
And without him, it just sort of, they do have enough, obviously they've got enough talent to step up in his...
But he's a big out, yeah.
Geez, it's a big one for me. So Carlton, pretty similar to last year in that other game. I think it's a close one. They eke out the win. Alex, what did you say?
I'm with Carlton. I think this is a big bounce-back game for them. They've had the firecracker up their ass, and it's also, I still don't think the Western Bulldogs are any good. They scrapped to beat a Toby Greenless GWS. They got smoked by St Kilda earlier in the year. There's just nothing to sort of go, yeah, you're good. Oh, you beat Freo. No, Freo suck too. So not with them at all.
Nice one. All right, the last 2 games on Sunday, Mother's Day. Don't forget, I hope you've got something sorted for either the missus or your mum.
Trisha's already got her present.
Nice. So who did Adelaide St Kilda?
That's me, where Adelaide favourites are at $1.65, St Kilda $2.25. The line between 6.5 and 7.5, and the over/under is 161.5. I think Ross Lyon's going to struggle to make this the most boring game ever because Adelaide are fun. They will make this an awesome game. Just of note, the betting favourite has won the last 17 daytime matches that the Crows have played in. So with that, Adelaide to win. Preview over.
That's it.
Tex 3+. He's done so in 6 of the last 7 against St Kilda. That's $3. Big Darcy Fogarty. In Adelaide's last 5 games as favourite, he has kicked 3 or more. That's $3.60. And then looking into sort of the team totals and stuff, Adelaide to kick 13 or more goals. They are really good at home. They averaged 96 points at Adelaide Oval, and let's be honest, that'd be more if they didn't kick 7 goals 15 against Collingwood.
True.
That is $2.20 with Ladbrokes. I thought that was pretty good. And then you have a look at some of the players. Jordan Dawson, he's the man. He's in career best form. He's got 2 in each of his last 2 against St Kilda, and this blew me away when looking at the prices. He's $15 to kick 2 goals on Sunday with Bet 365. If you have a Bet 365 account, please slide into my DMs because I can't bet with them at the moment for some reason. And then just 25 plus is $1.36 for your multi-players. In that one's the average is over 26 this season. Same goes for Jack Sinclair. He's going to have to do a lot of the work in the midfield for the Saints. The average is 28 and he's $1.40 for 25 plus. The over has hit in the last 11 Crows games, and given the way Adelaide score, I think they can drag St Kilda up to it because I reckon this will be a fast, free-flowing game because St Kilda will just try and run, will try and run and gun it and not get dragged into what Ross Lyon wants. Given the fact that it's at the Adelaide Oval home crowd, sort of the dimensions and just the way some of these grounds play, it's different to Marvel Stadium, so I like that. And this is why I'm not sold on St Kilda. They're ranked 12 in the AFL for attack, yet they're 6-2, and I'm just like, I still don't think you're much good. Yeah. There's a chance you're going to slide. So the thing is, Mitch Owens and Tim Membry, they need to go large here for the Crows. Owens has got 13 goals this year. He looks like he's got a fair bit of talent. It's his second season. 3 goals plus is $3.60. And Tim Membry has scored 2 or more in 4 of his last 5 against Adelaide. That is $1.62. And as I said, I think Adelaide dragging it up, get this over the 161.5 at, $1.85, given the fact they average bang on 100 points at home this season. With that, I am tipping the Crows.
Oh, this is such a tough over-under, isn't it?
It is, because you're right about Adelaide. They actually look really good in attack, and then you compare it with Ross's defensive tactic because they're the number 1 defensive team. Yeah. It is. It could be right on like that line.
Yeah, it feels gross to me. I'd steer clear of that over-under. The 161, like even your 12.5 over for Adelaide, like it just screams like a weird game where it's like 70 to 60 out of what's going on. This game is gross. But I don't know, like it all sort of depends on your belief in both Adelaide and St Kilda, right?
Sure.
Like if you believe that St Kilda are the real deal, I sort of believe in their defense more than Adelaide sort of across the board offense, I think, at the moment. So I probably lean towards the under, and I'd probably actually lean towards Saints. So that's actually my pick. I'm picking St Kilda.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to go Adelaide. I agree with Alex. I think at home, especially, they've looked awesome. Even beat the Power there in the showdown. So I'm just going to go Adelaide.
Yeah, good call. Nice. I mean, that was the thing. So that one that they did play in Adelaide, they looked pretty comfortable, obviously, for the last 5 minutes of the game. But the rest of it, I'm just a little bit worried. But I just feel like there's a test there for Adelaide that we've sort of seen when they've played against a really, really good team. They've sort of just come apart here and there. So give me the Saints. Last one, Collingwood GWS, an absolute barn burner to close out the week? Question mark? Yeesh.
Yeah, sort of. They got
some good confidence there, Stats guy.
Yeah, we got Collingwood $1.15 and the Giants $5.75. It's probably about right. You got the line, it's 32.5. Collingwood obviously top of the ladder, 7-1. GWS have actually been pretty competitive. We're close to the Dogs. But people thought they were going to be in the bottom 3. I think they've shown they're much better than that. They're probably going to finish around that 10th to 13th, I reckon, or maybe 14th. So they're built slightly better. And that's to do with some of their sort of veteran guys that have just been dominating. You got Stephen Coniglio. He's had 25 plus in his last 8 matches. And he can just charge out of the midfield. He's averaging their most score involvements with 8.1 score involvements per game. He's just always in attack for them. It looks awesome. That's why I'm going to have a look at those AFL fantasy points markets on Ladbrokes. You got He's averaging 101 AFL Fantasy points this year. He's gone over 106 times this season, so you can get 100 plus at $1.70, which is pretty good for a multi. Then he's gone over 110 plus 3 times at $2.55. You can get him for 110 plus. I think he's going to have another big game. He likes to step up against those better teams because they've got a very young side. Some of their midfielders drop off just because they haven't played in lots of the big games. So I think Cornelia 110 plus $2.55 is a really good bet in the AFL fantasy markets. Then a podcast favourite, Jaymz loves talking up checkers. Brody Myercheck, he's been absolutely amazing. Got 5 goals, I think, last weekend, including a scissor kick to seal the game, which is unbelievable.
I mean, as Jack Rewalt said, all he had to do was get half a lace on the boot on the ball and it was going through. It wasn't as good as Marcus Ashcroft's goal. We have lost Stats Guy. That's fantastic. We could get through there. Stats Guy was tipping Collingwood at the line, so he's offline, but he was tipping Collingwood at the line at $1.55. His 3+ goals for Myercheck was $2.35. Hopefully, Joel can give us the thumbs up that this is still going because we can finish off without Stats Guys. This is the last game of the round.
Easy as you like. And that's the thing, like Collingwood, this is the fact that this is the G on Sunday. You're like, there is no chance they lose this.
Yeah. Isn't this at like 4:40 or something as well?
Weird times, like a later time.
Oh, it's just so you can go visit your grandma, you see, just hang out and eat some of her scones.
Or if you're a Stats Guy, just duck off to the TAB and say, take it 8 and 9. But he's got written here that the Pies have won 15 in the last 16 at the G and they're 18 and 3 the last few seasons.
Yeah, I had that in the last week for the Swans and Collingwood preview where, the only loss was to Geelong in that final. It was by less than a kick. So, And their next 4 at the G as well.
And there's a great little stat in there from the Stats Guy that the Giants have the second worst record all time there at 6-20.
Oh. That includes a grand final. They did beat Collingwood in that prelim there, though, so that's kind of funny.
So I think he's got listed Collingwood 25 plus is $1.55. I'd probably go more. I don't mind the line, the 32.5, and away we go.
Yeah.
So I think we've all tipped the Pies as well.
Yeah, we've all tipped the Pies. I think Stats Guy's trying to get back in the room, but we can move on because it's best bets time.
Best bets. It's always Harry McFive time. That's right, Harry McFive, Harry Mackay. If you had to guess, here you go. What do you reckon the price is for Harry McFive this week, Alex?
$7.50.
Oh, you would be well off for Harry McFive. In terms of, you've seen our man's Curnow go absolutely spare. I had him at 4.20. Mackay to kick 5 in this game is $17. So, to be honest, it's now getting to the point where it's actually really good value for me to go with the Harry McFive bet every single week.
I was about to say, if you keep putting $10 on and he does it this week.
He just has to do it once in the season. You're laughing. Charlie Curnow now, after his massive tag last week, he's actually, so as I mentioned, the $4.20 for 5 plus.
Yeah.
He did have 7 in the game that I was at 2019. His first 6 plus goals, he's actually at $8.25. Pretty good. But as I said, the Ugle-Hager one's probably still my favourite for the entire weekend. 12 goals for 4 plus. I think he can well get around this Carlton defence. Kick 4, and off he goes. And then tonight, as I said, Eric Hipwood. I just really have a bit of a vibe on this Brisbane forward. No, that's Saturday night as well. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm very. I'm doing like all 3 night games this week, so it's very weird. But the goal kickers for that Lions team to go 3 plus, as I said, for Hippie was pretty good value anyway. Is it $3.15 for that? And if you want to go that little bit further and go the 4 plus, Hipwood's not a massive bad kicker, but at 7, like as I said, like he can easily just find the ball 4 times, kick 4 big ones against this horrible Essendon back line. So that's probably my favourites for the weekend. There's other disposal ones that I think we're getting to the point of the season as well, like 9-10 rounds in, where you get much more of a feel for the disposal market, and there's trends that you can really lean into, but. Just going to jump on some of the goals for my best bets. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, Maxi Gawn, that 20 plus at $2.88. Errol 30 plus at $4.80. Jay Dawson, 2 goals at the $15. I still can't believe that. And we'll throw in the most annoying player, yet I love him in the AFL, Tommy Papley. Game 150, 3 plus goals at the SCG. Finger in the air, get around me, boys. $2.35.
The smear. He's going to go absolutely We've got, I think, Stats Guy after we last heard him go, oh, geez. And then just, we've got him back.
That was actually pretty funny.
Sorry, guys. So we're looking at best bets.
Grandma's trying to get on at Scone, clearly.
We've got Gold Coast 25 plus against the really injured West Coast. I think $1.94 is a good bet. Boak, first goal. Why not? $29. I just think it's good value for a guy that loves the first goal. Then Myercheck 3+ goals. I think he's one of the most consistent forwards in the comp. $2.35. I think it's a good bet.
I just love it that someone tried to call your nan and it kicked you off the dial-up.
Get off the dial-up!
It's Beryl. Is Nancy there? Righto, that's it for Code Bet Daily Weekly AFL for this week. We'll be back on deck with another AFL show next weekend.
Minus the Stats Guy.
And
yes.
just Alex and I from here on out for the next couple of weeks as the Stats Guy jets off to the US of A. But we will have him for a couple more CODE Bet dailies. So make sure you subscribe to all of our shows, the AFL show, the NRL show, the EPL show, of course, this AFL show, the Daily Show as well. There'll be one more of those today at some point as well. It should be pretty fun. Don't know when that's actually going to get recorded, but we'll figure that out. Get around all the shows. Subscribe on your podcast app, like, review, and star them all. Comments, questions, anything you want to throw at us, we're here. Check and follow for CODE Bet over all the socials as well. YouTube, Facebook, IG, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch. That's right. Now the patches are out there for AFL 23. Stats Guy's all over it. I think that's it. Thanks, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Thanks to your nan for hosting you as well.
Thank you.
Thanks to Alex.
Yeah, good stuff. We recovered well when Stats Guy left. We flowed very well.
Yeah, it was much quicker. Anyway, thanks to me. And hopefully Stats Guy, look, now that he's going to have to submit all his tips for the next 3 weeks in advance. So
I'm happy to do that.
Stats Guy's tipping North Melbourne, Hawthorn, and West Coast.
Yeah, you guys can catch up if you change my tips again.
We might claw a few back at this point. So we'll see. All right. What do we say, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
All right, may all your picks come in. Happy punting. Footy's back.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.